Piss and Vinegar Day 187, I think, maybe. Arm day, same old stuff, just numerous sets on the biceps. I did actually kind of go to fucking, trying to get my mic in the right spot. Fuck it, I'll hold it with my hand like a man. Anyway, I did numerous sets of biceps because, as you know, I'm not taking sets to failure totally on biceps at the moment, just because I'm paranoid because of my left bicep tear. But today I think I ended up taking one of these to pretty much to failure, or what I would deem mechanical failure. I don't know which one, or I mean, it's not what I would necessarily deem failure, but it's what other people would deem failure. But my idea of failure is like really grinding the fuck out of that last rep that you actually just can't do, because that's what failure is. Failure isn't when you hit that last rep and you think you can't do another one. It's when you know you didn't actually, simply couldn't do another one because you tried. You actually tried and failed, which teaches you things about life, right? Because a lot of people don't even try and get to the point where they fail. If they think they're about to fail something, they just fucking quit. Whereas, if I think I'm going to fail a thing, I'm just going to keep going until I actually genuinely fail. And a lot of times you don't fail. So same thing with exercise. If you think you're going to fail, well, try and see if you actually fail or not, My phone, this phone that I got, my mum's fucking iPhone 7, really, it records videos super dark. So I had to like brighten up the video, but then I tried a bunch of different like sort of editing techniques. I don't know much about editing, but I find editing is just the way that cameras look, like camera aesthetics. I don't even know the term for it would be. I guess it would be editing, but like just changing the color and contrast and messing around with that. I find that stuff very interesting. I find that nowadays we're losing a lot of beauty in our movies and like just art in general. Art is being totally bastardized for very specific reasons I won't go into here because I'd probably get my channel cancelled. But art is very quickly going away, and one of the biggest bastardizations of this has been like cinema. One of the most recent movies I watched was Dune, and Dune had some incredible cinematography, and not like an overuse of CGI, and just the color scheme and everything was very just artistic and beautiful. A lot of scenes were just incredible. But one of the biggest things is just simply switching to digital, and like all the CGI, and nothing wrong with CGI inherently, but the overuse. But just, I don't know, like the film, I don't, it's hard to tell with a lot of these things whether or not it's nostalgia or if it's like conservatism where you think the previous things were actually better when in reality you just don't like the new things, because everyone's thinking about how good the past was rather than trying to live in the now. And there's probably some of that to it, but I also think there's a genuinely validity to looking at just like films or any kind of artistic expression in general and just seeing the degradation of it. It's undeniable, and there's a very obvious reason for that. But anyway, I don't know. I was kind of messing around with the color settings, and I even like I like duplicated the video and like made one of the videos slightly off axis. The anchor point of one of the films is off axis, so there's like a kind of a blur. And I don't know. I really like the look of. I just thought it looked beautiful. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I sound like an artsy fag, but something about the aesthetic of this like older, shittier iPhone camera that isn't pitch perfect detail, with a bit more darker darks and a bit lighter lights, and like just kind of messing around with the contrast. I just think it looks nice. And then you put the crops in, and I don't know, it looks like a old timey video. I don't know, it just looks cool. But I don't know where this come from. I was just thinking about like art and shit, I suppose, and how it's falling apart. And I don't know, like I've been watching movies from the '90s lately, and you can see in the camera quality, it's it's not pitch perfect. It's not, you don't see all the imperfections of someone's face, so you don't see all the details. But I think that's preferable. A movie shouldn't be like a 100% realistic experience. I think it should be something where there is some disbelief, but that's part of what makes it better. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not that smart, but anyway, I like this. I might keep this camera setting, keep this like shitty old camera. I might not get a new phone. I might not get one of those Galaxy S24s that us goys need to buy so that we have the more storage space and the 69 gigapixel fucking, like, so you can see every single acne spot on my fucking face. Like I think this actually looks nicer. Anyway, what the fuck am I talking about right now? Anyway, I'm doing biceps still. So yeah, numerous sets. This is the one I took to failure, yeah, and I'm like doing force reps and shit. And what it was really is I need a few sets with my bicep tendonitis at the moment to warm up with, pre-exhaust the muscle. I have the blood flow occlusion band around my arms so that I can get more out of less weight. And I'm also doing all my stuff outside of the gym where I'm stretching my biceps and I'm working supination through my forearm and doing self massage and shit, which is helping. But I found that I feel far less tendonitis if I or tendinosis likely, because tendonitis, there's a difference between tendonitis and tendinosis. Tendonitis is when if you take a few days off, it will go away. Tendinosis is a long-lasting thing, and that's what I'm experiencing. So technically, my bicep tendinosis, I need a few sets first that reps in reserve and just get blood in there first, lighter weight, and then on the third or fourth set, I took it to failure, and I wasn't getting pain, and I felt safer. So if you've got bicep tendonitis, maybe either or tendinosis, tendonitis, either one, and you like high intensity, you might need to get a blood flow restriction band. You might need to do a few pre-exhaustion sets before you can really go to failure pain-free. And in my case, anguish-free, because I'm always worrying about my biceps tearing less and less as I go. After the injury, when the injury first hit, I was very, very paranoid. But now I'm getting a little bit less and less paranoid as the tendonitis got away. As I start taking collagen and doing a bunch of other things to heal up my tendons, basically. Luckily, I only have tendonitis in the bicep. Every other tendon in my body is A-okay. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of sets for arms at the moment, and it's funny. I'm doing a lot of experiments with my training right now, like all these different things. That's how I like to live life. I like to just experiment and see what works best. Live everything like a science experiment, so you can figure out what the most optimal thing is. And one thing I'm doing right now is, for back, for example, I was planning on when I get back into normal training, for my back day to be the day where I don't track progressions, and I just simply let the fact that I'm in a surplus and the fact that I'm training to failure and just intrinsically train and not worry about reps and sets and just do what feels good and what feels like what annihilates my back the best. And I'm kind of do that with biceps at the moment too. But the difference is my arms could probably still grow, because for the longest time I always talk about how you want to really hyper focused in your sets with high intensity, and you do want to be focused. But at the end of the day, your arms are going to fail whether or not you're focused or not. And once you get used to training to failure after a long enough time, and I've been training for high intensity for about 2 years now I can just subconsciously go to failure. I don't have to think about it. My arm, I just know what it feels like to go to failure. I don't have to push past it. My pain tolerance is really good now. So today, when I was doing this workout, I was just listening to the Bible. I was just listening to an audiobook, because I just thought, I'm not live narrating. I'm kind of getting sick of listening to music when I'm training, because it doesn't do anything for my training anyway. So why not just kill two birds with one stone? Go on autopilot throughout this workout, just train intrinsically, let my arms just fall where they may. And basically I got a crazy pump, and my arms were fucking toasted afterwards, and it was great. I didn't really have to focus on anything. I just trained my arms really fucking hard, as many sets as I felt was necessary, just total intrinsic training. And the whole time it was great, because I was listening to an audiobook, and I barely even focusing on the workout. I didn't even have to worry about the monotony of training numerous sets, and just the monotony of training arms. Arms isn't that fun for me, but just going on autopilot and just training it to till I felt like I was done. And that's another experiment I'll be doing. Is just arm day. I'm going to make it like my audiobook day. I'm just going to listen to the Bible or whatever the fuck I'm listening to at the time. I'm going to train and see what happens. And if my arms shrink, then I'll know that you have to actually focus on your workouts. But I'm pretty sure at this point, now that I'm so used to high intensity training, I think I'll be fine. I think my arms probably going to grow even more. I feel like my arms already grown maybe a quarter of an inch since I've been injured, because overcompensating. I reckon it'll grow even more, regardless of whether or not I'm hyper focused on the sets or not. And then leg day is going to be a really hyper focused one, where I really tune my head in and I really focus on the progressions and everything. So I'm just going to see what is redundant and what's not. And do I really need to be hyper focused in my workouts, or do I not? Well, this is the way I figure that out. And then the back day is how I figure out whether or not I really need to worry about progressive overload or not. I mean, so is this day essentially. But I'm just going to be every different body part is going to be doing slightly different things. And if one shrinks because of an experiment I'm doing, I'll know that experiment is useless. If another one grows, then I'll know that experiment is successful. If the gains stay the same and it's something that, such as not focusing as much or worrying about progressive overload, then I'll know that tracking progressive overload doesn't fucking matter when it comes to training. When it comes, or at least for bodybuilding. Obviously, if you're powerlifting or something, it's a bit different. But anyway, that's just kind of where I'm at. I was just felt like, since I'm not live narrating this video, I may as well listen to an audiobook. And because I'm not tracking progressions and shit, then fuck it, I'll just try that out. And yeah, I don't know. It made the workout easier and breezier to go through. Is like I was just listening to an audiobook. This is what a lot of people do. They when they're driving in their car or whatever, they listen to audiobooks or they learn something while doing something that would otherwise just be subconscious anyway. A lot of times when I'm training, I'm not really thinking a hell of a lot about what I'm doing. A lot of bodybuilders will say, really, think about the muscle you're contracting and visualize and all that shit. And yeah, maybe that would help, but that's why I'm trying this experiment to see what happens. Because if my arms get way bigger regardless, then I'll know that that's all nonsense, at least for me. So that's another experiment I'm doing. Is I'll be listening to the Bible while I do arms day. Bicep curls for Jesus, or whatever audiobook I'm listening to. Maybe I'll be listening to Warhammer 40k. Maybe I'll listen to fucking whatever the fuck I want to listen to. You know what I mean? There is something to not listening to books or music or anything for periods of the time of the day. I try to do yoga and stretching without any input, because a lot of times we try to distract ourselves with music and audiobooks rather than just sitting there and thinking for a little bit. Like if you just never sit there and think, or basically just meditate essentially, you'll just be a fucking mess. Like your brain, you will never be able to create your own thoughts, which is terrible also. So, other workouts, I'm just being in a meditative state. Like I'm not listening to music. I'm not listening to an audiobook. Like the leg day. The leg day is kind of my meditation day essentially for as far as training goes. I just totally block everything out and just focus on the legs, and that's it. But I don't know. I'm just experimenting. That's the whole silver lining of this injury. And I like to silver line everything in life, because if you don't, well, what's the fucking point? What's the point of an experience, right? If it's a bad experience, especially, if you don't learn anything from it, then fucking, like, what'd you do? You just fucking hurt yourself. Good job. So I'm trying to silver line it by experimenting with so many different things. Rep ranges, training different new exercises, more sets, less sets, blah, blah, blah. Just, may as well spend this time. And I think I'm making gains. My legs have fucking for sure grown since getting this hack squat machine. My right arm is definitely, at the very least, maintained. My right torso at least, is definitely still maintaining. Left arm shrunk like crazy, like fucking crazy. I saw it the other day. I measured it. It was 13 inches. My right bicep 17. So that's a 4-inch decline, which is a bit depressing, but it is what it is. It's fine. The thing is, I'm fine with having one small arm and shoulder. Like, as long as I got a bunch of other muscle elsewhere, so people at least know I lift, and at least I know I lift, and I'm still able to lift. I mean, that's the main thing, is that you can still lift weights, because it is very depressing when you can't lift. The first week after the surgery, when I was all fucked up and my heart wasn't functioning correctly because of the anesthetic and shit, I just felt like shit, man, not being able to train, and just sucked. But now I'm training perfectly fine. I'm training like I ever trained ever before. I just can't train my left arm for now. I think I got 4 weeks until I'm out of the sling, and then it will be up from there. And then maybe 3 months from after the sling will my arm be back to where it previously was at. I'll probably do like a nucleus overload cycle for my left arm. I'll BFR or blood flow restrict it, and just train it every single day, just high reps, get a lot of blood flow, the tendon numero uno, but also just train it every day with light stimulus so that it grows, because it will react to any stimulus, let alone heavy sets to failure, which I won't be risking, straight away, obviously, just because the tendon's still going to be compromised. But I'll just be training every day, lots of sets, increase the nuclei. Who knows, it might get even bigger than it used to be. Doing a bit of posing. Man, I really like this fucking camera, the way it looks now. You guys might, you Zoomers especially, might see this, like, oh, it's not clear enough. It's not colorful enough. But I don't know. I think it looks real neat. Looks nice. Looks very 1990s. Yeah, I think my arm's looking bigger. I don't know. Obviously, the BFR band holds it pump way bigger than usual. But my arms are starting. My right arm's definitely looking freaky. My right tricep for sure has grown, or at least has become more mature. You have to understand, when it comes to growth, just because a muscle hasn't gotten bigger in size, which a lot of times could just mean that you're getting leaner also, doesn't mean that it isn't in fact getting bigger. You could be getting intramuscular size. So like your muscle might be just getting sort of like more mature, more shapely, which is undeniably what's happened. And that's happened in my calves too. My calves haven't grown all that much in the last 10 years of training, but they're definitely a hell of a lot more mature than they used to look. And muscle maturity is really important. That's the difference between a guy with good genetics and bad genetics. Is when the guy with good genetics starts training, he already looks muscular. He's just not very big, but their muscle bellies are incredible. Whereas a guy who hasn't got that has to train for a long time to get that muscular maturity and make their muscle bellies look really, plump and, you know, lean and shit. Well, you have to get lean too, but hopefully you understand what I mean. The arm is at the very least become more mature. My tricep has got more mature. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Doing a bit of pronation, and then I do my wrist extension, just bicep, tricep, forearm, yeah, every 4 days. And I'm recovering plenty enough, I think. I mean, it's hard to tell. Maybe I'm regressing like crazy because I'm not recovering enough and I'm doing too many sets. I wouldn't know. But what I'll tell you is my arms, at the very least, are maintaining, so must be doing something right. And then, when I get, like, my arm for sure has gained. So, I must be progressing. And I'm in a maintenance. I'm recomping. So it's all really good results, really. Got less recovery requirements because I'm not training, chest, shoulder, back, bicep, tricep, and forearm on my left side. So my other muscles can really get an extra stimulus and an extra recovery, which is, I guess, is a bit of a benefit. If you've ever seen a guy who's got no legs and they start training, their fucking upper bodies get huge, absolutely massive, because they don't have their legs that they're training and trying to recover. Or the guys, a lot of times, that just don't train legs, they typically have really fucking big upper bodies because they're not trying to recover a whole extra half, if not more, of their body, because the legs are huge. They take a hell of a lot of connective tissue, central nervous system, and muscular tissues that need to be recovered. If you don't train that shit, you can put way more frequency and effort and recovery into your upper body. So if you don't give a fuck about legs, don't train them. Fuck them. Just let your upper body get huge. Or arm wrestlers that just only train their right arm, right? Their fucking right arms are huge because, like, there's nowhere else that needs to be recovered, just their right arm, so that you can grow that arm really quickly. Anyway, that's it for today. Bye-bye.